Jena Sims.
And sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'm Jena Sims, and I play Cassie Stratford
And I'm Olivia Alexander, and I play Brittany Andrews
in Attack of the 50-Foot Cheerleader.
You guys have practiced that.
We've probably said it like 300 times by now.
So how was Comic-Con been for you so far?
Amazing. I am a comic book nerd, so I was actually in Paris last week at Comic-Con Paris, and I was in Comic-Con in New York City last year. So, and I show you. I haven't shown anybody. I'm wearing Batman underwear under my little cheerleading outfit.
She just did that.
That
I, on the other hand, this is my very first Comic-Con, but as an actress, I always dreamed of screening a film here and being a part of this. I think the community at Comic-Con is a really passionate group of people, and obviously, like, it's growing and growing every year, and I think that, thank goodness, being a nerd is cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. So
otherwise we wouldn't be
it's
here.
been so exciting, and obviously we're dressed up. If you can't beat them, join them.
You don't dress like that every day?
Sadly, no.
We look
I get
really
tired of, like,
scruffy.
soaking
You'd
in, I'm
actually be frightened to see what we look like this morning when we rolled out of bed.
Much like the original Cassie in the films.
We're gonna hit the floor after this. We're gonna head to the panel with Roger and Will and everybody. So we're really excited.
So what credits you have coming up after you've shot this film, it's in the can, you're done with it, you're promoting it? What's your next project coming up now?
That's a good question.
I have a parody film coming out. It's untitled right now, or they won't want me to say the name of the title, but I can give you a really awesome bit of information. I've never said this before, so I'm really excited.
Oh, tell.
I am the girl with the dragon tattoo parody. I actually look nothing like myself. So it's from Craig Moss, who did the Breaking Wind, the Twilight parody, and a couple other ones. And that'll be out in October. But other than that, it's back to auditioning for us.
It's auditioning, yeah.
You know,
we filmed a short film together called
Chocolate Milk.
I did a Speed Network show called Whipped about drift racing. I did 6 episodes of that, so that hasn't come out yet. But other than that, I've just been auditioning like crazy and hoping some.
Got to help give your profile boost.
I'm ready.
We're so happy to join the Roger Corman legacy. He's really discovered some of the most influential people in filmmaking today, and some of our favorite actors and actresses and directors. So we could only hope that our future will be bright.
Launchpad.
How was it working with him? How was Roger as a director?
It sucked. No.
What?
No, you believed me, Sam.
That was really good. I was like,
she was like, what? It was amazing. It was honestly, we got so much freedom to be creative. It was like summer camp. We go with my best friend and we got to play all day and make a movie. It was life-changing.
I think with a lower budget, this is something I think why Roger is able to discover new talent is because he's not looking for a name. He's looking for someone who can step into the role and really run free. And there was so much freedom to build our characters the way we wanted to. Kevin O'Neill, he was really, as actors, he was really open to our choices for the character because he's a special effects director. So there was so much freedom in wardrobe, in the cheerleading. We did a lot of the choreography and had those kinds of exciting moments. In the fight scene, we were able to incorporate our talents as a cheerleader and a dancer.
I got to do backflips and high kicks, and I did all of my own stunts, of course.
And then we just beat the crap out of each other.
We did, literally.
So who's the bad cheerleader? Who's the good cheerleader?
Guess.
I don't want to make anybody mad. I'm going good, bad.
I'm going to say that you're absolutely right, but you better be careful what you say, because Brittany Andrews, she's always around the corner, boys. And she's hopefully one of the future queens of mean.
Exactly.
But yeah, good and evil. It's pretty straightforward.
What do you think is more fun, good or evil? As a 50-foot cheerleader, would you rather be a good 50-foot cheerleader or a bad 50-foot
the 50-foot
cheerleader?
cheerleaders are both bad. Spoiler alert. The whole reason I want to be 50 feet in the beginning is I'm a nerd. I want to join the cheerleading squad. Well, the truth is, I don't want to. My mom, who's played by Sean Young, is crazy. She's sort of pressuring me.
No. Sean Young's not crazy.
No.
The character.
She plays it crazy.
That part.
That's debatable. No. Sean Young pressures me, or Brenda, my mom, pressures me to join cheerleading and to be in the sorority. So I come up with this serum, I inject myself with it, so I become beautiful. And then I do make the cheerleading squad, and I try to join the sorority. And once I'm 50 feet, you know, I just realized that that's not exactly what I wanted. So
And my
I become
character
destructive.
has a height complex and is the captain of the cheer squad and the president of Zeta Mu sorority, and she is really upset about this new sexy, hot, and smart girl that is entering and impeding on all of her territory. And when Brittany sniffs out the truth that Cassie is growing, whew, there is trouble on the horizon, boys.
There's trouble on the horizon. I hope y'all come to our screening tonight at midnight. You can see it.
Yeah, we're gonna see ourselves for the first time on the big screen. Literally, as actresses, like, we're the biggest noobs at Comic-Con that could ever exist, but we wear it proudly.
Yeah.
You know, like, we were in, we did a little interview with Sirius Radio, and Jamie Presley was in there before us, and we totally stand for her, stalker fan, and we were just like, we love you, and I couldn't even say my name. It was awkward. But yeah.
Roger says there's 2 versions of the fight scene. How does that go down?
Well, I hope one is the safe for television version. I'm not going to give away too much, but let's just say when you grow, it's sort of like the Incredible Hulk, and
The clothes don't grow with you.
Basically, the clothes don't grow with you.
They just
exactly.
disintegrate.
Yeah, literally shreds.
So there's probably a,
There's probably a move in the fight scene in which we rip each other's tops off.
maybe. We cannot confirm.
More or
nor deny.
less.
Roger already told us.
Yeah.
Is there any, like, accidentally falling into a giant Jello factory?
No, but if we get a sequel, we're gonna make sure that that's in there because Jello's
Jell-O.
really good, but only if
That's
it's
another
like
good fetish,
Jello
too.
Shot Factory. Yeah,
So you can fight, wrestle, and get sloppy drunk.
Exactly.
which sounds like what's
Because
gonna
that
happen
leads
later
to
tonight.
other things with 50-foot giant naked cheerleaders.
Absolutely.
And that kills everything.
No,
I'll sit in my corner quietly.
you are banished.
Done.
So you said, talking about getting to work with your best friend. So you two knew each other before working?
Oh no, we became friends.
Okay.
I mean,
I
after
auditioned with her. She had the role first, and then I auditioned on the very last day of auditions, and I read with her, and I just knew, like, I took one look at her, I'm like, oh man, this would be so great. Like,
And when you show up to work every day and you have to be mean to
Every
someone,
day.
and Brittany is pretty brutal. I think she's what the epitome of a narcissistic bitch. If you look it up, her picture's going to be there pretty soon. So on set, there was a little accident when we began to lose our clothes, and Jena got a pretty gnarly rope burn on the back of her neck.
There was blood.
After that, after you make somebody bleed, if anybody messes with this girl, Brittany Andrews is coming for
I'm
them.
gonna sick them.
So how was it working for Roger?
Well, we've been doing it for about 10 years, so it's. I would never say it's a walk in the park, but it's pretty close. Yeah. Roger is. Yep.
I'm sorry. What's the challenge of a lower budget film? I assume this. Was this budgeted with Epics in mind, or with Roger's regular distribution in mind? Or?
Well, Epics came up.
With Bill, right?
They came up with a title, so they came to Roger and said, "Hey, if you had this title, what kind of movie would you make?" And Roger went out and developed an idea. They bought it, and then he went back and wrote the script. And when the script was finished, he handed it to me and said, "Go rewrite this script for all the locations we got to shoot in," which is typically the way we make movies. When I make a movie with Roger, he's very hands-on with the script, blueprints out the story, gets it all straight in terms of what the beginning, the middle, and the end are, and then we get into the process of finding out where we're going to shoot this, because a low-budget movie is best served by a location-centric kind of production process, not one where you go and build sets and all that. You can't afford that. So in this particular case, we were originally going to go shoot in Dallas, but we couldn't make a deal for a stadium, so we came back here, and with the line producer, I went around and sort of kludged together this imaginary university out of various locations that we were able to get to for a couple of days, a piece.
So you shot it here?
Pardon me?
You shot it here?
Yeah, we shot it here at several different colleges, at the Santa Ana College football stadium, and at the parking lot at Santa Anita Racetrack.
Well, you said that you've worked with Roger Corman for 10 years now.
Yeah.
Does that make it easier to know what he expects and go towards his way would be, or?
Yeah, this is going to be the gray hair talking, but the bottom line is I've known of Roger since I was a kid, and as an inspiration, he's always been one of those key factors, and so everything I could. Even though I came to Roger later in my production experience, I came to that table with eons of knowledge about what he did and what he does. And so we had a very quick shorthand as to how to make things. And I think it's one of the other issues. A lot of people think and hear Roger and they think, he goes and he gets young people and he works from all time. Go look at Roger's first movies. He hired a whole bunch of very, very famous and very well-versed filmmakers to work with him because he knew that getting those guys means he was going to get something done quicker and better than trying to teach or learn from people who didn't quite know what was going on either. So that's the shorthand we have together, and we've sort of carried through the half dozen or so movies we've worked on together. So.
Did you shoot film? Digital?
This film was done on a Red Epix, so we shot it with a dual camera over-under beam splitter. It was the right way to go. We had R&D'd a whole bunch of different ways. We weren't going to convert it, and we looked at a lot of different lower cost stereo camera setups, but this Epix was a new client. Making this movie big was a big issue for us, so we went top dollar on that one.
Roger said that 50-Foot Cheerleader is the first 3D movie he's done. Have you worked with 3D before?
Yeah, just before I got the gig to direct this, I was the supervisor on Piranha 3D, which was a conversion movie, not a photographic 3D movie. I actually started in the film industry working for another of Roger's compatriots in the older days of film distribution. I worked for a guy named Lou Scher, who produced, up until Halloween, he had produced the most profitable independent film ever made, which was The Stewardesses in 3D, which was a beam splitter side-by-side film that Bill Condon, I think, was the guy that came up with that process, and he produced that movie. So there's sort of a strange synergy there, both in experience and in history that I kind of enjoy being able to talk about, because hopefully it isn't full circle, but it's a nice lineage.
How was it working with the girls?
The girls are great, and the girls are great on a whole bunch of different levels. We made a very strong effort to cast somebody who had gone through the cheerleading, routine, somebody who could do the moves, who wasn't uncomfortable in the end trying to be a cheerleader, both in physical activity and also in sort of attitude. And both those girls were from that world, so we were able to start there. I will say this. I have an old friend who is a stunt coordinator, worked on a lot of films with me at the Weinstein Company, and David Wald. He's an ex Ninja Turtle. So I brought David in, and he trained the girls in my backyard for the fight sequence. Have you seen the movie? Okay. Movie ends on it's a 15-minute knockdown drag out between a 50-foot cheerleader and eventually a 75-foot cheerleader. And I knew that to pull that off, we were really going to have to get some good fight coordination in. And so the other thing the girls really stepped up on was taking all this in 2 days of very arduous 8-hour fight rehearsals with David Wall. So kudos to them for that.
You had mentioned that Epix came to you with a title. Now, did they give you any kind of pushback with content-wise, or did they just say, go for it, have fun?
Well, they came to Roger with the title. Roger knocked on my door and said, this is what we're going to do. As far as content, no, they knew what in their minds, they wanted to make that 1974 Roger movie that was in the drive-in down the street from where they grew up. I mean, that was, you could tell from the second we started to develop the script. So
they were open to everything, including a 50-foot dual cheerleader naked brawl.
well, yeah, the topless end of things came actually after I poured through the script and we changed got our locations locked down. I came to Roger and I said, "We're going to amp this up. We got to do it. We got to do it the right way, and those girls got to tear their tops off." You're right, Kevin. We'll go for that. So I got no pushback.